There we go. Now we're ready to go. Happy Monday, everybody. Joe and Mike here with another edition of the show. Mike, what up?
Hey, Joe.
Everything was going good until about 7:30 when I got done work. Usually it's the other way around. Usually it's work that derails me, but it's
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, what happened was Mike knows this setup that I have here. He knows that I have the laptop all set up. I didn't have the laptop set up and ready to go. I had the stories ready to go. There's another 3 points for me. I need four more. Just to let you know, I have Brendan Aubrey over 7.5 points, and I have a 30% booster on it. So not a booster shot, but a boost in the odds. So, but I got my stories here tonight. I had that. I highlighted last minute because I was doing other things because my ADD mind goes all over the fucking place. And there we go. And if you had 9:06 p.m., congratulations. That was the first curse word of the night. We used to play that game. We used to play that game on the stream. So, but but one thing I do want to say before we get into the stories here, and by the way, I do have to put the scroll there because that's one thing I like to do. Is I hope you guys, I hope you guys saw my article this morning for the race at Parks today, because let me tell you something. And I don't have a sound drop for it, but I got breaking news. Well, I do have breaking news. I'm
Breaking news.
I'm starting to get hot.
Uh-oh.
Well, not as hot as,
You could tell it was a huge start, so much power.
but the horse that won had so much power that it won at 7-1 odds today. So if you took my advice and played Patty LaBelle, and I purposely said it because it's play on words of the great singer Patty LaBelle. You got $16 for every $2 you wagered, and I took advantage of the Saturday races at Aqueduct because I told on also eligible that um, we had the parallel this week where we're looking at Aqueduct, and all 10 races they had the win insurance up to $5 on FanDuel. So if your horse finished second or third, depending on how many horses were in the field, you got your money back.
Mm.
Well, I had two races where my horse finished second or third, so I had $10. So I was like, all right, I'm all in, $10.
There you go.
Yeah. And did I share with you the bomb I hit at Aqueduct on Saturday?
Did you now?
I had an 18-1 shot in the second race.
What?
Hmm.
Horseshoe always works. Okay.
But because I only had $50 in my account and not 55,
Right?
now if Aqueduct only had 9 races, I would have had about another $430 in the account
Wow.
because I had the winner in the first race. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to play a $5 ice cold double. I had the winner in the first race. I think it was second shot. It was like 6-something to win, but that long shot came in at 18-1. There was a horse that we featured a couple of times at Finger Lakes when they took over the Parks races on Mondays and Tuesday, where we got to see Finger Lakes race 6. Well, here's what I thought of that.
Okay.
But but I was like, well, he ran in a stakes race, but it's not that great of a race. But change the scenery, blah blah blah,
Nice.
and if I had the sound drop, I would have played the Show Me the Money one, but I don't have it on here. But and I'm starting to get hot because I was even hitting college football on Saturday night. I had well, let's look at my picks from Saturday. I swept my college picks, and I'm the idiot in the building at 11:30 at night with a newborn across the hall going, yes, when Clemson hits a 56-yard field goal to win the game.
Oh,
because not only did I have Clemson money line at better odds than when I gave out on Thursday night,
right.
I also had a 2-team parlay which paid 3.5 to 1 or something.
So that was you. I was wondering what woke me up that night on Saturday night. Okay.
So, but yesterday, the early games were basically. But the thing is, if you had played on Thursday, Miami minus 5.5, you won.
That's right.
But when I played it on FanDuel before I started work, it went up to 6.5 over the last couple of days. So I ended up with the loss on FanDuel, but I ended up with the win for the fade.
Win some, lose some.
hmm
Yeah.
Then we Tennessee lost, and we'll talk about the Eagles at the end of the show because we're not as happy about the win as well, at least Mike isn't. I told you guys to expect that shit show, but I'll play that video. I'll be trying to pat my own shoulder, pat myself on the back. I can't go all the way over like I used to because my arms bother me. Still bother me from May,
Oh wow, that long, huh?
but because I don't want to get checked out because I know exactly what it is.
Gotcha.
Rotator cuff, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was the weekend in a nutshell for me. Mike was in the compound in Delaware County, wearing his shorts because that's the official clothing. That's the official clothing piece of Delaware County.
What can I tell you?
But anyway, so we're also keeping an eye on the Dallas-Cincinnati game here. Dallas is up 10-7, as you know from us mentioning Brandon Aubrey getting that field goal. So I need 4 more points from him. So you're saying there's a chance, but we'll see. So and they have the roof open tonight. The first time in 2 years.
Took them that long to fix the roof, huh?
And they also did not have anything fall off the roof.
Good thing. We don't want anyone hurt.
I mean, even Jerry Jones' face didn't drop at the sight of the.
That's surprising.
Because his face hasn't moved since the. I think we have a touchdown there. And the tradition, unlike any other, you go into the Salvation Army kettle. So he went into the Salvation Army kettle, and does he get the touchdown? No. No, he's in.
He is in. 2. Oh, I still see green. He's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Russell Yerk is the ESPN rules analyst tonight because whoever the normal guy is doing whatever. Yeah, it's a touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Yeah.
That was me, by the way.
I think that's a touchdown.
But Captain Ron, who's going to be following me tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So if you're, I'll just let you know now. Tomorrow night, we are going to go from 9 to 11. We'll have a hard out at 11 o'clock. And we will raid the Bleacher Brothers channel. Because if we do that, we can go to Captain Ron and I can get you guys onto the Bleacher Brothers Twitch.
Cool.
Which I am the moderator for. So, but you can also watch on YouTube, wherever. So if you don't like Twitch, But especially with me, I want you on Twitch because I can do all that stuff, But anyways, so you see everything here um, on the scroll there. Juan Soto, the playoffs, Belichick to North Carolina, Eagles.
Eh,
And I mean, I had so many stories here that a couple of these stories are going to wait till tomorrow. But I think the Phillies deal for Jordan Romano will be timed out by tomorrow night, but we'll see. But anyways, let's get to it here. And Juan Soto, the sweepstakes is over, and the New York Mets signed him to a 15-year, $765 million contract.
You could tell it was a huge start, so much power.
But anyway, initial thoughts.
way too much for one player.
I agree.
And I don't see the Mets building around him. And for them to spend all that money just for him to be paid more than Otani, why?
Well, he's getting more money for the life of the contract,
Right.
but he's getting less per year.
Oh, that's how it works. Okay.
Now, he's getting more up front per year because remember, Shohei has 680 of the 700 million deferred.
Right.
So you do have that. But it's 15 years, $765 million. I mean, I don't know what they're. I mean, it's. I
I don't know
like.
what they're thinking.
Well, we know how John Middleton wanted to spend stupid money a couple years ago.
Right.
Well, Steve Cohen went stupid money on top of stupid money on top of stupid money because he's probably the richest owner in MLB,
Right.
so he can spend that money. And I think after a couple more years, maybe he'll learn a little bit. But I also have that gut feeling that we're going to see all kinds of changes when this new collective bargaining agreement gets done,
We
whenever
should.
it gets done.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to do because the Players Association is not going to go for a salary cap.
No, they're not.
You know that. But you can argue in a way you do have that tax.
Yeah, you can.
So you can argue that it's already there, but teams just don't care. The Phillies don't really care too much. Yankees don't care. We know the Dodgers don't care, even though they defer everything. They have $1 billion deferred until 2048,
Yeah. They really don't care.
and the Mets don't care either.
Yeah, but the Dodgers won. I don't see the Mets winning with Soto because I see Soto, maybe Lindor, and then everybody else.
Yeah.
They need help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they did pick up Dylan Covey from the Phillies.
Did they now?
Well, Dylan Covey was dog shit. I mean,
Yeah.
if the Phillies were up 15 runs, now we're not going to bring in a fielder to pitch. We're going to bring in Dylan Covey to pitch tonight. Oh, we're down 12 runs? No, we're not going to use Garrett Stubbs.
Right.
We're going to use Dylan Covey. Fuck it. But
yeah.
that's the way. I mean, that's because he was traded for. I forget if it was a trade or a pickup, but I think Dylan Covey. I think he was a free agent that signed with the I think he was released by the Phillies. I don't know how he got to the Mets, but he did. So, but I do have to say, in regards to Dylan Covey being with the Mets got to give it to you.
Exactly.
But yeah, but it's 765 for 15 years. Now the Yankees, they offered 760 for 16 years.
So why did he take that?
Probably Scott Boras is saying, you got 5 extra million here, you're going to get a couple million extra a year. And I think also, because the one thing I was saying last night, because SJ texted me last night. She goes, get into the voice chat. I'm like, I don't feel like it. All right. I said, hold on. I went in there. They were saying, we're waiting for it. We're waiting for it. And I'm like, up, just 15,765. And, she's a Yankees fan and one of her friends that went that were a Yankees fan too. I was just like, hey, well, in your division, I'm like, I'm worried. I mean, I am kind of worried, but
A little bit.
But only because the owner will probably end up bankrupt next year with all the money he spent.
He spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
But there has to be some type of stability, like you said, amongst the league. Because right now, it's out of control.
Yeah. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to play this video. It's from Ariel Epstein at she's MLB Network. She does a couple of different jobs, and this is off of her Instagram from I think it was from earlier today. Well, it might have been late last night, but either way, I actually shared it with SJ yesterday, this morning, because she's a Yankees fan, and here's the video. Well, actually, let me do one thing first here. Let me go to here. And you get to see 18 times. You get to see Ariel 18 times. But here's exactly what she said about the whole Juan Soto thing.
To everybody who is so upset about not having Juan Soto on your team, especially you Yankees fans, I know you. I'm a Yankees fan too. It's okay. Congratulations, Mets fans, you got the dub. But Yankees fans, Red Sox fans who felt you were in the sweepstakes for Juan Soto, depth is everything. Look at what happened with Shohei Ohtani. He is the best player we have seen in Major League Baseball for the last 100 years. It took him going from the Angels, who never made the playoffs, to the Dodgers, who had depth. And yes, they won the World Series. Baseball's not a sport like Tom Brady being your quarterback in New England or Tampa. It's not like Michael Jordan and LeBron James going to their respected teams. Baseball, you need depth. So for any team that did not get Juan Soto, a.k.a. anyone not the Mets, don't worry. Go out there. Get another pitcher. Get another infielder. Clean it up. Especially Yankees fans. Clean up the infield and get a number 2.
Hold on. There we go. I'll be right back. I have to get her number 2.
She's not wrong.
No, she knows her stuff. She's on that show that's on MLB Network during the season.
Joe.
What? Oh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that was Ariel Epstein, and she knows her stuff. She's a Yankees fan, but she knows her stuff. She's on that show, and it's on 4 o'clock during the week during the seasons on MLB Network, and the name is escaping me because once September comes around, it's it's no more Ariel, no more Lauren Gardner, no more eye candy. Even though I'm being a pig with that, but
it's football season.
Yeah. And she pops up on my Instagram with her football and basketball and all her props, because she is the prop queen.
Is she?
Yeah. And I can make a joke there, but I'm going to refrain.
I think I put that joke in my head.
but this deal that Soto has is 15 years. There's an opt-out after 5 years, and there's no deferred money.
Whoa.
Now, if Soto chooses to not, well, it says here if he chooses not to opt out, his deal will go up $4 million per year from 51 to 55 million for the remainder of the contract, which means the value could exceed 800 million. Now, the way that I understood it was, if he were to opt out, and the Mets say, "Oh, fuck you, you're coming back to us," okay? I think kind of like what the Yankees did with Garrett Cole in this offseason. That's where the escalator will come to play. But whatever it is what it is. And you know, and by the way, Dallas is only down 14-10. You know, they're used to being down 20 points at home,
It's still early.
even though they had him doing it in the last 2 games, but
Right.
or the last game, whatever it was. I don't know. But he's also getting a 75 million signing bonus. So,
yeah.
but the one thing SJ said to me, and you know, she is our Yankees correspondent de facto. She did say that the manager's son, Carlos Mendoza, for the Mets,
Mm-hmm.
his son leaked it out a couple days ago.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm.
He could have kept that to himself.
Well, I don't know how old or young the kid is, so you know, and you know, you don't know what the father's saying to the son or how old the son
True.
is, but you know, you could just say, "Don't say a fucking word."
Right.
But then again, 3 seconds later, hey, guess what I heard?
Exactly.
But from what I had seen here, because one question that we had last night was, what was the difference between the Yankees and the Mets? And 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 SJ and our other friend that was there in the group chat last night, they were saying, well, Yankees has the Bronx has a big Dominican and Hispanic presence in the neighborhood, and that borough where Flushing is just that Flushing, but you know, in Queens, you know, but now there isn't that Dominican or Hispanic or Caribbean presence that the Bronx has. And yeah, I said to SJ today, it's like, yeah, Flushing sounds like what you and I do in the bathroom all the time. Whereas the Bronx, it sounds like something, it sounds like it's gritty enough alone that'll beat the shit out of a Mets fan.
Right.
But
I thought about something else.
what's that?
And this is far fetched. I haven't read this anywhere. It just came up in this cranium of mine.
Hmm.
Aaron Judge is the leader of the Yankees.
Hmm.
Could it be that Juan Soto wanted to be somewhere where he was actually going to be the person rather than being second or third or fourth like he was with the Yankees?
That was something that was brought up last night.
Okay.
And, you know, did he want to be in Judge's shadow?
Yeah.
But I can understand that. And are they just showing a stupid ass commercial, or did they score a touchdown there?
That was like
Commercial. Okay. See, because we're trying to keep track of the game, but we're keeping track of each other too. So, but I just think that made sense. You know, a lot of things made sense why he would go to the Mets because he gets to be the star of the team. And, you know, he had the, even though he got traded to San Diego, he, depending on how you looked at it, he was either in Manny Machado's shadow or he was sharing the spotlight instead of being the spotlight guy,
right.
you know, because we're talking about that. And, you know, but San Diego had a big purge. and they still made the playoffs.
They sure did.
So they did get rid of a couple different guys, including Juan Soto, which turned out to work well for the Yankees because and everybody's when I was in that chat last night, they said, "Oh, the short porch and right, blah blah blah." It's like, well, what about the short porch and left too? Because he doesn't necessarily pull all his home run balls. He does spray them the whole 90 degrees from left
Yeah.
field pole to right field pole.
He's a really good hitter, yes.
Mhm. Yeah. So now I just think but let me see here if I can find it here. But it was 16 years, and this it was similar because it wasn't anything that I thought I had highlighted it. And forgive me while I look for this here. Oh, here it is. The Yankees fielded a competitive offer, 16 for 760. Now the annual salary was only 47.5 million.
Oh, who could live off?
No deferrals. But I want to know what else was in that deal
Yeah.
because, is there something else there that just said, no, I'm not going here? Or was there something with wanting to be the star for 15 years? I mean, and you can also argue that the 15 years is too much as well.
I would
But
argue.
but the thing is, he hits free agency at such a young age, like Bryce Harper did, that you can give 10, 15, 16 years, 13, 14, 15, 16 years. So, you don't have that you don't have that contract where he's getting paid until he's 47. I mean, it's his age 40 year that he's going to get paid his final year. I mean, I just wonder if this contract will be reworked because you know how I feel about these contracts. I just feel like there is going to be a bubble burst with these contracts at some point.
Yeah.
Now, whether that's the case or not, we'll see. And there's a field goal, and it's 17-10 Bengals.
Well, here's the other carrot.
Mhm.
Can you definitely say that if since he's with the Mets, does that give him a better chance of winning the World Series?
I also need to know. I also need to know how the farm systems are
Right.
because I'm not familiar with the farm systems because the Yankees don't necessarily want to spend the money. They will, but they want to try to get a couple of guys who come up, are the prospects, fill in some of those holes so that you can poach guys when free agency comes around a couple of times. You get to pull some guy from, I don't know, Milwaukee or Colorado or whatever. But you got to realize that it's not necessarily, um, I think they're spending a little more wisely, but still not afraid to spend that money.
Well, I think, but the Yankees also have a good farm system. A couple of their, or two or three of their players have been homegrown.
Yeah,
Like Torres. Yeah.
yeah. So it's just a matter of what they have that's on the verge of coming up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm concerned with. But like that video I showed of Ariel Epstein, she's got the pulse of the Yankees because she's a fan and she works on MLB Network and everything else. She said the right thing. You gotta just because you spend 75 million or 50 million a year on a person, you gotta have that depth because the Dodgers had the depth this year.
Yeah.
It's just that Shohei was only doing one thing this year instead of the two things that he usually does. So but now it does exceed the $700 million deal for Shohei Ohtani, and the thing is, Shohei, he's a unicorn because of the fact that he hits and he pitches.
Yeah.
So you could argue, and we argued this when we were looking, we saw it so many times last year during the free agency process that do you pay him the essentially two salaries? But Soto's only getting one salary per year if you think about, but it's over bloated.
It is.
You know, but now we'll see how they build around him because also the most punchable face in Major League Baseball, Pete Alonso, was a free agent. And he's probably not going back.
No, I don't think so.
Now, he could go to the Yankees, which would be funny, even though it'd be a lot less dollars than what Soto made.
That would be hilarious.
Now, I was watching MLB Network today,
hmm
and the new GM, Preston Mattingly, was on there. You know who his father is, right?
Mr. Dog Mattingly.
And I'm going to say something right now. I'm going to make a bold prediction here. Because you know how they always give Rob Thompson that extra year? They make sure he's not in a lame duck year.
Right.
Like they did it again this past offseason. I'll make a prediction. If the Phillies do not make the playoffs, or badly don't make the playoffs, because you can look at it with a grain of salt and say, this person got hurt, this person, everybody got hurt. Do not be surprised if you see Don Mattingly in the Phillies managers area. Is it a good idea? Probably not, but
Bold prediction. December 9th, 2024. Got it.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's just me thinking aloud, and it's not anything worth, it's not worth saving. But I'm sure people will be using stuff against me. But you can't use my Friday Fade shit with me. But
No, not even close.
but but the final bidders were the Mets, Yankees, Blue Jays, Red Sox, and Dodgers. But also Kansas City and Tampa Bay explored signing Soto. Kansas City, they don't have much payroll anyway, but Tampa Bay made 0 cents because, the hurricane hit. But I think that might have been, they started kicking the tires. Well, free agency started after that hurricane hit. But
that Kansas City might have been an interesting place for him to be.
Yeah.
They have some pieces of place.
Yeah. At a cheap cost too.
Exactly. Just like the Florida Marlins were when they won the championship. Pennies on the dollar.
Yep.
And they won not one, but 2 championships.
Yeah. Just checking my phone, that's all. But, I mean, it is way too much money. And one of my friends said that nobody is worth $700 million because somebody shared what he posted last year. And yeah, nobody should get it. But I mean, but wait till basketball when the new money for the new contract comes in, because the salary cap will go way up.
Yes, it will.
And the Supermax is probably going to be 80, 90, $100 million a year.
Yeah.
So, but this is baseball. You make your own numbers up as you go along, and I just think it's way. I mean, I understand it's way too much, but because also you can't. A family of 4 can't go to a game. I mean, if you're going to take them to a game, you're going to take them to a minor league game.
Yeah.
And even minor league games aren't that cheap anymore either. But depending on where you go. But here's Here's further validation of Soto's decision here. If you remember, Soto turned down a 15-year deal from the Nationals for $440 million. Now we're talking about 2022 dollars, but we're talking about additional revenue and also Shohei getting that huge contract and everything. So think about this as I try to find it here. With his new $765 million deal, he reaped $375 million more than he would have if he accepted the Nationals' final extension offer.
That's too much.
Mhm.
And if I'm not mistaken, they were 3 years removed from the World Series. They won in 2019.
Yeah, but they started rebuilding
Oh yeah, because Trey had yeah.
because I think Trey got traded to LA and then ended up here. So there was a couple different things going on. So
But Trey won another championship with the Dodgers, didn't he?
no, he didn't.
They didn't win?
Now you're gonna make me look this shit up, ain't you?
Oh, you know what? You're right. I don't think they did. I thought they won that COVID season. I thought
Dodgers won the COVID season, yeah.
Right. So Trey was with the Mets.
He was with LA in 21 and 22.
Okay, so yeah.
So he got traded in the middle of 91, in the middle of 2021.
Okay.
Then he ended up here in Philly in 23.
So he has 2 rings.
Oh.
Is that right?
No, one. Because the Dodgers won in 20 and 24.
Oh wow! So we just said that they won during that season where no one can go to the game. Dodgers didn't win that year.
Dodgers won that year, but he was with Washington the whole year.
Oh, excuse me 1 second. Gotcha.
And he ended up in LA in 21.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah. So I mean, way too much money. And of course, what's going to happen is you're going to have somebody who's going to say, if Juan Soto got 51 million, I deserve this, and because that's how this all works. It's all about, well, we know it from football, especially. It's who's next man up in the free agency. But like for example, even though we're talking apples and oranges here because we're talking about a closer here. I mean, the Phillies signed Jordan Romano today. He only got $7.5, $8 million for 1 year, but that's what that may be paying a little too much for him even at that point. But you could see. I mean, is he worth the contract in terms of the years? Yeah, but 51 million a year is a lot of money.
That is.
But it's not my money. And it's not my team. So go right ahead.
I don't know how the Mets draw. Do they draw? I don't think their attendance is that good.
But I'm sure that the tickets are much higher than Phillies prices.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Our product is good enough.
But you're going to have people. You're going to have people going on. You're going to have people crashing the server when they open up tickets.
Yeah.
Whenever that is.
Tickets will go sell at 3 a.m. tomorrow. I'll be there at 1. Yeah.
I don't have a crash sound.
Okay.
No. But yeah.
That was a crash.
Okay. All right. So we have the college football playoff, the first one with the new 12-team format. What'd you think with the setup?
I'm glad we have a 12-team format. I'm not sure if I'm happy with the teams that have made it. Not sure.
Okay. Yeah. So, the way that was set up, it was because remember when they created this, there was 5 power conferences, not
Right.
4. So the idea was the 5 best conference winners. You dangle a carrot to the group of 5, even though we knew that it wasn't going to happen in the format before the Pac-10 basically folded. They're trying to get back together, and I'm trying to find something here as well, but um, just trying to find here.
You think because of all of the teams that changed different conferences kind of messed up what the NCAA wanted to do as far as this 12-team playoff?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Um,
Oregon and Big Ten. Give me a break. Okay, go ahead.
no, I know. It all started with USC and UCLA,
Yeah.
but when you look at this here, you have the way that they have it set up. You have the 4 best conference winners getting a first round bye. Now, granted, when you look back in a couple years, you'll see that technically, um, Oregon's the 1 seed, Georgia's the 2, Boise State's the 3, Arizona State's the 4.
Okay.
Now, granted, when you look at the college football rankings that they came up with, I believe Boise State was 9, Arizona State was 12,
Yeah.
but because they won the conference and they were one of the top 4, they get the bye and they're 1 through 4. Now, the thing is, even though I've heard a lot of complaints about the whole format and everything, I think that you're rewarding conference winners.
Yeah.
Now, we had a possibility. Now, but we're talking a little bit of a gray area here because the way that they worded this was originally was the top 5 conference winners. So more than likely it was going to be the 5 power conferences. In my opinion, when they came up with this format, they wanted to have it where the top 4 teams were all going to be 1 through 4, and they were all going to be for the Power 5 conferences. That's what the dream was.
Right.
Well, then we had conference realignment, we had everything, we had overblown conferences, and we had basically conference cannibalism where they're just beating the hell out of each other every single week, especially the SEC.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't have a problem with this because let's say you flip a team that's actually in the top 4
Right.
with a conference winner. More likely than not, they're probably going to play each other anyway in that second round.
Right.
So it's not like you're going to whatever, but like one person I was watching yesterday, she was saying, well, Oregon's going to have to play Ohio State again. Well, you have to play them anyway.
That's true.
So what if it's in the Rose Bowl or the semifinal or the championship? You're still probably going to have to face them again.
That makes sense.
But Ohio State lost to Michigan, which was a 20-point favorite. Because trust me, I picked Ohio State that day. And that's one of the few losses I've had over the last 2 months. But but I don't have a problem with the setup because guess what? If you're good enough, you're going to win, and if you're not good enough, you're going to lose. Like Notre Dame. They were ranked 5th. Were they 5th? I think overall, but they ended up like 6th or 7th.
Yeah.
They ended up 7th because of the jump in the conference winners up. They get to play. They get the next best thing, which is a home game. And by the way, we will have some historic programming on TV in 2 weeks.
How's that?
It'll be the first Notre Dame home game in over 30 years that NBC or Peacock or NBCSN, when that was around, it'll be the first home game that will not be on any of those NBC affiliated networks.
Wow. Because I thought they signed that long-term contract with NBC.
But it's for the regular season.
Oh, ooh, that is the story. Okay.
So when the brackets came out and they said who's playing on what,
Right.
you know, and I saw that, I was like, that's interesting, because I was like, well, does NBC get a bone because of Notre Dame? They don't, but they get the Pool and Weed Eater Bowl. That's probably it.
Yeah.
Actually, that and the Kohler Toilet Bowl.
That's the next one.
Kent State and Temple.
Ow. Let's talk about toilet bowl.
I think it was Kent State that went 0-12 this year.
Not good.
No, but so we do have Clemson, who got the final bid. So they got the final conference bid as the ACC champion. They won on a 56-yard field goal, and I was hoping it would be Army. And I told you why earlier before the show.
Yes, you did.
So think about this, people. We wanted chaos, at least I did, leading up to the Saturday games. We got a little bit of chaos. We didn't get complete chaos. We got enough. Now, the Big Ten, that was basically just going to be flopping positions. The SEC just flop positions on the bracket. But by Clemson winning, they knocked Alabama out because they had to get in as the 5th conference champion.
Yeah.
Now, can you imagine? And if you're watching on Twitch or X or YouTube, feel free to chime in as well. Can you imagine what it would have been like having Army as the 12 seed, and they still have a game to play because they played the Army-Navy game this weekend?
That would have been chaos with a capital C.
Mm-hmm. Because think about it. You win, you're going to have to play again the following week. But if you lose, you're probably playing the following week in a bowl game as opposed to a playoff, because you're getting into a situation where, okay, well, if we win this game, then we play whoever number 5 is. Who was it? Clemson goes to Texas. So Army would have gone to Texas if my pick was up. Because, I was like, because I was watching Captain Ron's show on Saturday night, and I basically said on the bomb there, I shared it on Facebook. I'm sure you saw it on Sunday afternoon, once the brackets came out, how close I was. And, it's not me being smart. It was just me logically piecing stuff together from the previous week's rankings. But I had a problem with, not necessarily a problem, but SMU was getting blown out by Clemson.
Yeah.
If SMU, or as I'll call them for the next 2 weeks, the Smooths got blown out by Clemson, Alabama's in. Then we have to hear about Miami bitching and moaning.
Exactly.
But the one thing is, no matter how many teams you have in here, there's always going to be a school that's snubbed.
Every year.
And it doesn't matter if it's 2 teams, it doesn't matter if it's 4, it doesn't matter if it's 12, it doesn't matter if it's 16, it doesn't matter if it's 128. You're going to have those 6 schools that are going to say, hey, what about us? Well, you're 0-12, 0-12, 0-12, 0-12, 1-11, and 0-12. So,
Yeah.
but you get the idea. So, the matchups for the first round. The Smooths go to Penn State, and I have to root for a fucking team from Dallas. I
Now,
have to root for a team from Dallas.
yes, you do.
Well, I can never root for those cum stains. But anyways, Indiana plays Notre Dame, and Tennessee plays Ohio State. And somebody shared this, and I have to find it here. And somebody had too much time on their hands. And this is from Buckeye Fett on on X. But somebody, College Sports Only, shared this on on their Facebook. He said, well, we'll do it this way. Let me share my screen here. And let me go over here. As long as Tennessee doesn't come out wearing these, we win.
Okay. Okay.
So, but then again, Tennessee, they're the only school. Well, Indiana plays in cold weather too, so they actually played their final game against Purdue in the snow, I believe. So Dallas can be cold, but it as we found out before the show started that it was almost 60 degrees, and we're talking about the the roof being open for the first time in 2 years, and nobody got hurt when the roof opened and it didn't collapse, or Jerry Jones' face didn't move, but his face hasn't moved in decades because of Botox and shit like that. But I need Dallas to be stopped here so they can kick a field goal, so it can help me out, because I got that over 7.5 at plus 130 something because I got that booster. But so SMU's a warmer weather team. It's not like they're in California having to go to Penn State. Indiana, Notre Dame, that's two cold weather teams. Tennessee and Ohio State, cold weather versus cold weather. Clemson and Texas. Clemson can start getting cold. That's coming back, I think. So, yeah, you're celebrating for nothing, just like the running back for the Bengals, even though he did get his touchdown. So, now all four home teams are favored by a touchdown or more. And thankfully, I get 2 weeks to formulate and it's a touchdown. Fucking Cowboys. Well, that's good because an extra point gives me 5 points from Brandon Aubrey. I get a field goal, like let's say last second field goal.
Right.
What's 5 plus 3?
8.
And is 8 greater than 7.5?
And Bizarre World, yes.
So that would mean I would win.
That means you won, yeah.
It would be another winner from yours truly. Even though they did not have any kicker props on Rebet. Because we Bleacher Brothers are promoting the hell out of Rebet and all that stuff. But and I occasionally put my picks on there. Well, Thursday night, was it Thursday or Wednesday? One night this week, I stopped after doing it for a couple of days. I gave out 4 games. It was the night the Flyers lost to Florida.
Okay.
I think it was Wednesday night.
I think so.
Well, let me tell you how all 4 picks went. 4 games, 4 losses.
It happens.
I know. But, it is what it is. So, the selection committee chair, Ward Manuel, said that it was quite a debate between SMU and Alabama. Alabama is a 3-loss team ranked ahead of other teams that have 2 losses. They talked about it for quite a bit, but in the balance of it, the way SMU played in the ACC championship game, losing on the last second field goal, great win by Clemson, great game. We just felt that in particular case, SMU still had the nod over Alabama, and that's no disrespect to Alabama's strength of schedule. It's merely looking at the entire body of work for both teams. But the thing is, SMU. Now, granted, you could say, hey, you got to play the games anyway. SMU did play a bunch of bottom feeders in the ACC this year. So say what you want, but they did. You have to play who's on the schedule. That's what I'm trying to say while I yawn. But like for example, some of the categories that they have mentioned here. Alabama's strength of record was better. Alabama was 9, SMU was 15. ESPN's FPI had Alabama 4th, SMU was ranked 13th. Crimson Tide had 3 losses, including 2 to 500 teams. They lost to Vandy, 40 to 35, and they lost on the road 24 to 3 to Oklahoma a couple weeks ago.
Yes, they did.
So you got to take those ugly losses into account too. And Boise State got in and got the first round bye by beating UNLV. I did tell you to take Boise State because somebody in particular always thinks I pick UNLV all the time. I didn't this week, and guess what? I did win. And Arizona State routed Iowa State 45 to 19 to win the Big 12 in Jerry World. So, and that may be the other reason why, besides the Simpsons game that they're playing on Monday night, because of the whole. Well, it's not that hard. You just because they have a different carpet for college and high school games.
Yeah.
You just roll this carpet up, you put the other carpet in, and you do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around, and that's what it's all about.
I have to say defense of the teams that have been well, the team you have to play teams on your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
If the teams on your schedule are not good, that's not your fault.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the flip side. If you lose to those teams, then someone's going to say, why did you beat those teams?
Mm-hmm.
You could have beat those teams. Then you beat those teams, they say, well, you should have beat those teams because they're not good. You can't win either way.
Yeah. And the one thing I will say is there is a college football site, and I forget it off the top of my head. You can see what your favorite football team has planned for non-conference games X amount of years out. I think Notre Dame is set on non-conference games to 2045. I'm exaggerating, but you get the idea. They have that far out, and it isn't like college basketball where, I like to know the inside of this because Holy Family's playing Temple tomorrow. And from what I've tried to find out, it's only the second time Holy Family's played a Division I opponent. They played, I think it was Northern Illinois back in 2019. But other than that, they've been playing other D2 schools. But the thing is, with college basketball, you can pretty much piece the schedules out for the most part while you're playing the current season. So you don't necessarily have to play. You don't have to sign for like 3-4 years down the road. Right. Now, occasionally, a lot of times, what they'll do is, and they do it more in football than they do in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
We'll make it a 3-game contract, a 3-game agreement. You play here at our campus twice, and we'll play at your campus once. But let's say Connecticut wanted to play St. Joe's, because St. Joe's won the Big 5 again.
I saw that, yeah.
St. Joe's knows that it would be better for them to either play it at either A, the Palestra, or B, the Wells Fargo Center.
That's right.
But also remember, you're paying renters' fees and everything else, and that's why a lot of times Connecticut versus St. Joe's will only happen in the NCAA tourney or NIT tourney. Well, more NCAA because Connecticut, after winning 2 in a row, they're going to say, fuck the NIT.
Yeah.
But that's why, I think what the NCAA has to do, and I'm going to have to wait till March because I'm pretty sure that Fox Sports has their own postseason tourney this year that's going to be in Vegas.
Hmm.
And no, I'm not going because it's the way that the vacations are planned out next year.
Okay.
And you know that I have at least 2 trips planned next year.
I know.
One to Florida
Right.
for Gulfstream.
Right.
Yeah, I'm letting shit out of the bag. So the plan is that also eligible will be on site for the Pegasus World Cup. And it's very possible that Halloween weekend we will be at Del Mar for the Breeders' Cup.
Oh. Fingers crossed.
Well, I'm on vacation that week.
Okay.
It's just that I will have to get a Sunday flight home.
Right.
So it's just a matter of, but with that being 10 months away and everything, but I might as well just tell the news of my schedule for the rest of the year with you guys. So just so you guys know, we are here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Joe Quills. I'm on the Bleacher Brothers X at x.com/Bleacher Brother. Drop off that last S for savings. And because Twitter back in the day, they only allowed 15 characters. And they still only allow 15 characters. It's just that Elon's one of them now. But I might as well just tell you right now. So this week, going with the full 4 shows. And also eligible will be on Saturday. What I'm covering yet, I don't know yet. It's just that I don't know because do I want to go with what FanDuel Racing has for their WinBet insurance? Or do I want to go with what I would prefer to go with, which is something different, different from what I think they're going to do. But Thursday, I'll nail it down. Or maybe Wednesday if they update the page on Wednesday. So this week, got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with yours truly. Tonight we have Mike here. And his wife said, thank God Mike's out of the goddamn house. And then next week, we'll have our 4 shows. Mike will be here next Monday. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then also eligible on Saturday. Then I'm taking a Christmas vacation. I'm going to make sure the shitter's full. I'm going to say grace. I'm going to sing the national anthem instead of Our Father or whatever happened in Christmas Vacation. I'll probably have to watch Christmas Vacation while I'm on vacation. Basically, I'm on vacation that week from work. I'm using it as a vacation to prep for when the Bleacher Brothers radio network goes live on Monday the 6th or 5th or whatever that Monday is. Monday the 6th. So I'm going to be taking time off, whether AJ likes it or not. I might even have to deal with AJ saying, well, since you're not doing your show, you're not doing any articles. Well, I will be saying, bleep you. I can post my own shit. I'm posting my articles, damn it.
Ooh, okay.
No, me and AJ are cool, but we're joking around here.
Right.
So we have 2 weeks worth of shows. However, we're still going to do the also eligible on Saturday, which is the 28th.
Yeah.
And I am toying around right now a special, especially if nobody's going to be on the Bleacher Brothers stuff on the day after Christmas. I'm thinking a special Thursday edition of Also Eligible Thursday morning because that Thursday afternoon is opening day at Santa Anita.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting.
hmm So the main show is going to be taking a hiatus for a couple of weeks. Well, a week and a half. Also Eligible will still be there because, it's just me and my degeneracy. But we'll have that. And I know some people say, well, what about Friday Fade or the Philly Fade? I'll be like, I'll figure that out. Don't worry. I'll probably just post that to YouTube and say, hey, um, I think I will do a solo show on the 2nd, the day after New Year's, and then, no, and then, and then, no, and then, and
Get
then
off
we'll
of it.
and then we'll go back to the usual routine on the 6th. So after next week, you won't see Mike for 2 straight Mondays. And I know what you're thinking, people. I know.
Thank you, people. Thank you, peeps.
And when he comes back, I know what you're going to say when I say, hey, Mike's back, and you're going to be saying this.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Oh boy.
So since we're letting the cat out of the bag, and we'll eventually, I'll remind you guys probably next Wednesday, because one thing is, I was thinking about taking next Wednesday off because one guy I went to high school with, he does Quizzo on Wednesday nights down at the Penn campus, and I forget what the bar is there. Let me find it here. Where was it? Let me find it here. It's at the New Deck Tavern, which is on the Penn campus. One slight problem.
What's that?
I have to work that Wednesday.
Oh, that is a
I
problem.
don't get done to 7:30.
Hmm.
The game starts at 8, the Quizzo game.
That is a problem.
So, oh well. Because I forgot, usually I request that Wednesday off because it's the Wednesday before we work that weekend.
Right.
I'm not working that weekend because I'm on vacation.
Right.
So that's the schedule for the next couple of weeks, and just keep updated to me at Joe Quills on X, on Twitch. I did create a Blue Sky account, but I haven't used it yet.
Hmm.
Only because I'm so used to, I mean, between Threads, which I never use, which I should use, X and all that, And the thing is, I'm not weaning off of X totally because of Elon and Trump and everything. It's only because I'm trying to spread out more and see how things work and all that. But the one thing I will say is, if they want to say it's because of Elon, they want to say it's Trump, go right ahead. I don't care, because guess what? You're wrong. So, anyways, let's get back to the most important stuff here and why Mike is here tonight.
Why am I here tonight, Joe?
Because we're talking sports, goddammit.
Also, that's why I'm here. Okay.
We're talking sports tonight.
There you go. Okay.
And, to paraphrase what my good friend Jason Beam says in his podcast, he says on his show, if my show is 51% horse racing, it's a horse racing podcast. In my case, if this is 51% sports, it's a sports show, damn it.
That's right.
And we've actually done more than 51% already, but anyways. So as you hear my chair going back and forth, and I don't care if you hear it or not. Uh, Bill Belichick may be going to college.
I thought he graduated.
Well, he does have that girlfriend that probably is going to get get free tuition when she enrolls at UNC if
That's why I
he
put
gets in.
graduated. Right.
But because he got close to this saying, but I think he inspected and said, okay, well, she's over 21. Yeah, that saying, if there's grass on the field, play ball.
Right.
But Bill Belichick confirmed on the Pat McAfee show today that he has been in talks with North Carolina about the school's open coaching job.
That would be interesting because he's a great coach.
hmm Now, as a GM, he wasn't that good, especially in the last few years. But the one thing I will say is the way college sports is becoming with NIL and everything. Take Adrian Wojnarowski, for example. He essentially became the general manager of his alma mater, St. Bonaventure.
Yes, he did.
So you are seeing that they're labeling these new positions general manager or something similar that, basically college sports in a way is professional sports. If you think about it. Now it's not top-notch professional sports but you do have extra money coming in for the players and it is the wild wild west with everything that they're doing with NIL and everything. But in a way it makes sense because Belichick would get to recruit players who would be there and he might get people that go there. Maybe he gets the sons of players he coached that actually like him. I'm sure there's a few. Maybe he brings guys in, who knows?
Yeah.
But now Adam Schefter reported that Belichick met with North Carolina officials for 5 hours on Sunday. I'm sure it was more than just to watch the Eagles and the Panthers.
Could be. Yeah.
A smiling Belichick on the Pat McAfee show declined comment when asked specifically about the interview, joking he wanted to keep his old news conference aura. Now, you know who he has to have if he becomes the North Carolina coach. You know who he has to have on his schedule.
Who's that?
Cincinnati. Oh, we're on Cincinnati. We have to have that. We have to have Cincinnati on the schedule, UNC.
I think they hear you.
But Belichick confirmed to McAfee that he had a couple of good conversations with Chancellor Lee Roberts. Belichick added, he concluded the interview by saying about the UNC job. First he said, we'll see how it goes. He concluded the interview by saying about the UNC job, we'll see. But, maybe he did turn a leaf and he's not going to be the same curmudgeon at press conference, or maybe he's going to be even worse. Or maybe when he's in not as big of a medium market, I don't know. But now, things to remember: the NCAA transfer portal window opened today. So players may hear the rumors like, "Oh, I'm not playing for this curmudgeon," or some people say, "Oh, well, he won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach, and he won 2 more as defensive coordinator." And he. Oh, wait. No, they're going to make me wait. God damn it.
Yeah, they're gonna make you wait till the couple.
Well, for those that are just tuning in and why I'm acting like that is I have a wager on FanDuel tonight. I have Brandon Aubrey over 7.5 points tonight. He's got 5 so far. He's got a field goal and 2 extra points. AJ sent me a message here. Talking, Mike, and I'm going to let you know what I'm typing here. Talking about you right now. Ha ha ha. We unfortunately don't know any soccer people. We were just mentioning the text and what I replied. Don't worry. I don't think AJ realized I'm live, but whatever. So, but we're sweating out a pick here, so I I know why I grabbed the phone now because I wanted to pull up the wager on here. So let me log back in, and my wager is over 7.5 points. I got 5 so far. It was a plus 104. Because they have this game that I'll call it a game, even though it's a gambling thing, but it's a free game and you get boosts and prizes from it. I end up with the 30% profit boost from last week's game that ended yesterday. So I used it at Brandon Aubrey over 7.5 points at plus 104. That plus 104 now goes to plus 136. Now, granted, it's only a $10 wager, but I'm getting an extra $3 if he kicks his field goal here. And thank you for showing that black cat stat there. Joe Buck is Aubrey's 4 for 5 with him as a kicker, but 33 for 33 with everybody else. The kick is up. The kick is good. Show me the money. So to quote DJ Khaled, all I do is win, 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 no matter what.
There you go.
Because even though I only gave you one winner, if I had gone the whole 10 races at Aqueduct, you would have had an 18-1 shot in race 2 on Saturday. But because I was working, I couldn't even tweet any shit on X or on Facebook or even in Blue Sky if I wanted to use that. Instead, I just gloated to Mike, hey Mike, I got an 18-1 shot here. Haha.
Yes, you did.
But
Yes.
but I would have had the double. It paid $86 for a buck. I usually play the early card for 5, the early double for 5. I was like, well, I've been ice cold for like a week, week and a half, 2 weeks. I'm like, I put $50 in here. I'm just doing $50. Fuck it. So what happens? I don't play the double. Horse in the first race wins. And I have an 18-1 shot that couldn't even win at Finger Lakes. Breaks his maiden at Aqueduct at 18-1. $86 double would have paid about $430. And this was me after seeing the double amount.
Yeah.
But if I had show me the money on here, I was still saying about the 18-1, show me the money.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to Bill Belichick here. Now, of course, some people are thinking that he is going to take the job. Some are skeptical. I don't know about you. What do you think?
I'm skeptical, but you never know with Bill Belichick. That's him. That's his power. That's what he does. You don't know until he actually comes out and said he's going to sign a contract or he's not going to do it. Yeah.
Or what if he pulls another New York Jets?
Oh, I remember that.
Because you have so far you have New Orleans open.
Yeah.
You have Chicago open.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting somebody. Who else fired their head coach?
New Orleans, Chicago.
I had the sheet buried underneath here. I'm not digging for it because the laptop's in the way.
Gotcha.
But you get the idea. There's 3 spots that are open so far. And, we'll be sitting here. Fuck it. I'll just pull up the standings here, see if it rings a bell to me. And, there's going to be a few more jobs that are going to open up here. And let's see. Buffalo, Miami, New England, Houston, Indy. Bears. There were 3 that were fired, right? So far?
I know about the two. I'm not sure about the third one.
Eberflus with Chicago.
That's one. Allen with New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. Dallas, no. Giants, no. Eagles, no.
The Giants soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see that somebody had one of those tow planes that said this team's a dumpster fire or something?
I heard about. I read that on ESPN.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
No. Tennessee, Jacksonville, Colts, Texans. All right, maybe it was only 2.
Yeah, WP is still there for now. Pierce is still in Vegas.
Or did we throw Dallas into that special category because he doesn't have?
We did talk about that.
Well. But, anyways. So I don't know what it was. So, but you don't really have. I mean, if he wanted to be a coach if he wanted to pull a Dan Hurley, in my opinion, it's like, well, unless it's a certain team that comes up, I ain't going there. Like a team with history.
Yeah.
I could see him just going to North Carolina and be happy there. I mean, he just may be happy just coaching for the next couple of years, and maybe getting a female student to join him and his girlfriend in bed. As creepy as that sounds. I mean, it's already creepy with his girlfriend and everything.
Yes, it's already creepy.
But hey,
he's a good coach. He's a good defensive coach. That's for sure.
Here, yeah, you can coach her. You can coach that other girl. Here, I'll show you what I do to her.
Mr. Cardio.
But anyways, but Belichick, as he probably sound like I didn't see the interview because I was working. Then I forgot all about it. I should have done that. But he was talking hypotheticals about what the college program would look like, stressing ifs if he took the job. Modern college football looks a lot more like the NFL now, so that's probably the reason why he made make that move. So it does make sense, but he's like 13 wins away from. It's 13 wins away from getting past Don Shula.
Which makes me think he wants to come back, coaching a pro team.
Yeah, but the thing is, you do have this transfer portal window.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I know that when the portal window reopens for teams that fire or hire somebody, I think. So once they officially hire, so let's say they didn't hire Belichick until all the NFL jobs came up, and he tried to get jobs and he didn't get it.
Yeah.
He may eventually go there like second week of January. I think the window would reopen for those that are exclusively to North Carolina, I think. But don't quote me on that.
Well, not
so good. He said, if I was in a college program, the college program would be a pipeline to the NFL for the players that have the ability to play in the NFL. It would be a professional program, training, nutrition, scheme, coaching, and techniques that would transfer to the NFL.
He's right.
But they have one thing that they don't have in the NFL:
What's that?
classes,
Yeah, that's the difference.
if they go to class.
Yeah, if they go to class.
Yeah. But the candidate pool outside of Belichick is dwindling, so it's making him think that maybe he takes this job. So there's increased pressure to hire him. The Tulane coach, John Sumrall, not Sumrall, 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 he's no longer linked to the job. But then again, the way Tulane shit the bed the last 2 weeks, no wonder.
Yeah.
And thank you, Tulane, for doing that, because you made me look real good picking Army on the money line. Arthur Smith was named when the process began. He's no longer engaged in the job. Matt Campbell, who's the Iowa State coach, he's not expected to be a candidate, but his name always comes up every year. He doesn't do anything. UNC also talked to Army's Jeff Bonkin about the opening. Now, that would be an ironic move that if he were to take the job, even though he probably won't, because Bill Belichick's a Navy guy, Bonkin coach.
Yeah, that would be ironic.
But there's also rumors going around that potential role for his son Stephen Belichick. Rumors are that he wants to make him the head coach in waiting, like he did with Gerard Mayo.
Right.
So you do have a bunch of different things going on right now, and ideally you would want to get that all done before the transfer window open, the portal. But I guess a couple of names came up. It's like, let's see what Bill says. Or Bill said, hey, you had an old curmudgeon. Why don't you take another one? But so then we get to the Eagles, and I want to begin this with what I said about the game on Thursday, and this is from the Philly Fade. Let me go here. And yes, I'm trying to share my screen, so shut up, Mike. There we go. So I timed this as best as I could, so it may be a little long here, but I just want you to hear what exactly I said when I picked Carolina plus 13 on this, but you get the idea, so here you go. But this game, Carolina doesn't really scare me, and their defense, especially their running game, is dog shit. Everybody's starting to talk about can Saquon Barkley break Eric Dickerson's rushing record? Well, the one thing to remember is he also has another game to worry about here. But Carolina has the worst rush defense in the NFL. So keep that in mind when you're looking at some of the prop plays that you may want to look at from time to time on a FanDuel, a DraftKings, where I give you my picks for the weekend, just out of uniformity. Now, if somebody were to sponsor the show, yeah, I'll use your site. But right now, I'm using this just because it's the one I've been using for the last year or two on the show. So I think this is a trap game. Mike knows this already. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles win this 56-3. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles win this 21-20. But I'm hoping it's 56-3 so I can sit here while I'm working and be like, especially if the Packers can pull off this win tonight. But Is 13 points too much? Probably not. But we'll see if the Eagles are a championship caliber team on Sunday. And what I mean by that is when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and Mike says that would be so nice to see a 56-3 trouncing. The one thing that we saw in the Super Bowl year that the Eagles won over the Patriots in 7 years ago, every time we said the Eagles got a trap game, the Eagles got a trap game, and what did they do? They blew the other team out. So that's what I'm hoping is the case here is that this trap game turns into a blowout the same way that these trap games that Detroit had with Tennessee and for Jacksonville, they put up 50 some points. Now, do the Eagles need to put up 50? No. Just make it look impressive. Maybe even get a couple of first quarter touchdowns just to show Carolina, hey, we ain't fucking around it today. So, but the one thing is, I've been saying this for about a month now that this is a trap game. And the one thing I will tell you is, I am not afraid to pick against the Eagles and be wrong and see my Eagles win and cover the spread here. So I'm taking the Carolina Panthers plus 13 at minus 112. And I just think that this is probably going to be much closer than what we want it to be as fans. But it wouldn't surprise me if this game is 42-3, 63-0, anything like that, because Saquon Barkley's going to have a huge game. We know that. He's had huge games all year. And by the way, I saw a stat the other day that Saquon Barkley, his second half rushing yard. I'll stop there because I think I've made my point there with that. So was I spot on or was I spot on?
You were spot on.
And right now, with my picks, because I have them up right now, if you count the month of November and the month of December so far, now we're talking about when I release them on Thursday, because I'm sure there's going to be somebody that say, why are you counting that as a November game when the game was played December 1st? It's the day that I released the pick.
Right.
So in the last 5-6 weeks, I'm 28-14. So that's 667, I think. Oops. 28 divided by 42. Yeah, it's 667. And like Meatloaf said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. It's pretty fucking good. But the most impressive thing is I have made up 18.16 units over the past 5-6 weeks.
You are on fire.
Mm-hmm. It also helps I had that Detroit 40 point, over 40.5 points when they played Jacksonville.
That helped out a whole lot, yeah.
Now, I wanted to play over 50.5, but when I was doing the show that Thursday night, it was only going to 40.5. But yeah, but that's something for another day. But the thing is, and I've said this so many times, and there was a thing that was on here, and I'll probably have to talk about this tomorrow, because I don't know the whole story behind Brandon Graham. But Brandon Graham must have said something as well about the passing game, because I got the alert. I'm sure Mike got it as well. I'm not sure how Mike's alerts come on his phone, but I get basically everything. I made a mistake. Eagles defensive end Brandon Graham tells ESPN he will apologize to teammates Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown after comments go viral. I don't know what the comments were. I'm not going to dig into there because, It's getting hot in here. I'm not taking off all my clothes. I'm afraid to open the windows because it's damp out. It'll make it that much more humid and hot in here. But Mike knows what I'm talking about.
Well, to paraphrase what Brandon Graham said, basically he was saying we need to keep everything in house. Don't share everything with the media. We don't need this. We have a better team than this.
Okay. So if it's exactly what you're saying there, then I have no problem with what you said. But maybe because when he thought about it, it was like, oh, maybe it sounds like I'm throwing them under the bus.
That's
No.
what I'm thinking.
So that's
Go ahead.
a better move.
Because when he said that, to me, he should have waited and talked to AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts if he wanted to keep it in the house instead of sharing it with the media. So he's telling you one thing and he wants to do another.
Yeah. And I understand the frustration with the whole passing game because, I mean, we know from all the way to the beginning of the year, the first quarter has been horrible. They only had one drive where they scored in the first quarter. I think it was even a first drive touchdown. Now, the Cincinnati game, they get an asterisk for when they scored on the first drive because Cincinnati had a 10-11 minute drive that when they got the ball back and they started driving the ball, oh, by the way, it's the end of the first quarter. So they get an asterisk for that because they scored a field goal on that first drive. It was just that it wasn't until after the beginning of the second quarter because Cincinnati was playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust. But I understand why, in a way, they're saying that the offense is not on the same page when it comes to the passing game. Okay, I get it. But and of course because they only threw for like 100 and some yards, and my stance on Jalen Hurts. I don't care if he throws for 300 yards. I don't care if he throws for 50. Just get the goddamn win. I just feel like even though there are his warts and all about can't read defenses, locks in first guy, whatever I saw today that is true. A lot of that, he does do what he does, but he finds way to win games.
Does that remind you of someone in Kansas City, perhaps, finding a way to win?
Yeah. But he was not the sideshow Bob doppelganger either.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fitting I bring that up because if you're watching the Monday Night Football game, you're watching the game on Disney Plus or ESPN Plus. You got to see, and I'm probably going to get dinged for this, but I don't fucking care. 4, 3, 2, 1. End of ad. You got to see, and I'm going to get in it. I know YouTube is probably going to pull this off or whatever. I don't care. You got to see this.
That's funny.
I know I'm going to get it. I know I'm going to get an email probably about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning or sometime tomorrow morning. You got to clean that up or do this or do that. I don't care because guess what? I got the original on here. It's going to be the audio for the podcast. And by the way, subscribe to the Joe Quills podcast on Apple, on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Because guess what? You miss a live show. Not only can you watch us on YouTube, you can watch this on my Twitch. You can watch this off of Andy Reid's ass or stomach. You can also, if you're going out for a drive, it's like, what the hell was Joe talking about on Monday night with Mike? You can subscribe to the Joe Quill Show. If you subscribe to the Philly Guy Speaks podcast, that's where you want to go. You're going to see the alternate logo there for specifically for the audio pods. And you can listen to all the shows, whether it's the Philly Guy Speaks podcast, which I rebranded earlier this year, I think it was. I forget. It's been a while. But the Philly Guy Speaks that I tried to do as a separate podcast. And I think Homer Simpson got another fumble. But anyways, if you're a person that likes to listen to me podcast wise and not have to see this ugly mug, subscribe. And I prefer Apple. If you give me some 5-star reviews, I can get into their algorithm and get more people listening, which made me I get more people watching. Then you can subscribe on Twitch at twitch.tv/Joe Quills. I get the analytics on that up. It's like a little snowball effect. But you get the idea. So we are going back to that. Probably for those that are watching live, that if you miss something, I probably will have it up tomorrow afternoon because I'm not busting my ass tonight. I mean, I may bust my ass in the bathroom later, but that's. Or if I bust my ass, I'll pretend it was SJ's dog Gracing. I'll bring out the spray like I did last week. But back to what I was saying here. Eagles are 11-2, and the one thing I will say, and that's it turned into an incomplete pass, whatever. I'm not taking a side on either game here because I'm too busy doing this. But the run game is doing what it's supposed to do. Eat clock, get a lot of points, wear that defense down. It wore the defense down, but the thing is, the Eagles defense really wasn't doing much the last 2 weeks. And the one thing is, if you're smart enough, you can read video and tendencies and stuff like that, But and then and just to let you know, we're not referring to that football team that comes in Sunday as their team name this week. We're taking the Ohio State approach here. That team is going to be known, even though I'm going to fuck it up on Thursday night. They're going to be known as that team out west.
Gotcha.
Because you know how Ohio State refers to Michigan as the team up north?
Team up north, right.
And by the way, I got a story about Ohio State and that team up north tomorrow. I printed out like 6, 7, 8 stories over the course of a day or two, and I got to go through my thing here because I think I might have a story buried here that I may have tomorrow. But I do have one about Ohio State and Michigan. I got the Jordan Romero story, but I may scrap that because it may be timed out. But anyways, so Eagles are 11-2. Defense has played well all year, and it's just that the passing game just hasn't been able to get started for the most part. And you know what? Sometimes when you have a guy who's on a record-breaking season or a record-breaking type season, something's gotta not go as well, and that's the passing game. Now, one thing that they don't tell you when they complain about everything, and remember, there was no doubt either. So you lost another one of your weapons of the game this past Sunday. Yes. So it's not an excuse, but I mean, you did get Devontae Smith back. You lost Dallas Goedert, so now you still have your two wide receiver weapons. It's just that your two pass receiving options are your two wideouts instead of a wideout and a tight end.
Yeah.
Now, Calcaterra did score a touchdown, but I hope he got the football back because he did fling the ball toward the middle of the field or some shit, whatever he did. But a couple of players were asked what was missing. Devontae Smith being on the same page, who later noted he was talking about this week specifically, thinking the same, seeing the right signals, just going out there and making it work. AJ Brown had things to say as well. He said when he was asked, he said passing on what the offense needs to improve on. I mean, I think it's a fair assessment, but I think that you have to realize that. I mean, I don't know what the. I'll let you respond to this, but I'm just pulling up the NFL stats at the moment.
Okay.
But while I do that, what are your thoughts on everything that was said and whatever?
I'm thinking that they have a running.
Yeah.
They try to get an identity. They have an identity. They run first. They pass second. Like you said, maybe 50 to 70% of the game may be running, 20 to 30% of the game may be passing.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's not going to get the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing is winning the damn one game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm looking at it. I could be wrong, too. You let me know. I could be wrong.
You're wrong. No, I'm only kidding. All right, so here's the thing. Everybody knew that Carolina doesn't even catch COVID with their running game, with their run defense. Their defense is that bad. Their rushing defense, they're dead last. They give up 170 yards a game. So, in my opinion, what do you want to do? You want to do Barkley left, Barkley right, Barkley up the middle.
Yep.
Then when it's time to give him a break, Gainwell left, Gainwell right, Gainwell middle.
Yep.
Pound the ball, pound the ball, pound the ball, pound the ball. Just do Carolina's motto, keep pounding. Carolina's pass defense, as of the moment, and we're not taking account the Dallas game here because I don't think they actually. Okay, it's updated nightly, so it's as of going into the game. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Carolina's defense is 13th against the pass at 214.3 yards a game. The Ravens are dead last at 264.9. Jacksonville is 31st, 263.5.
What does that tell you?
I think that in some ways, and I hope I'm reading this right, and reading between the lines and everything else, I just feel like Carolina's defense, at least the passing game, isn't that bad.
Exactly.
Yeah. And for some reason, because the Eagles fans think, and I'm an Eagles fan too, so don't come at me if you're an Eagles fan. You're saying, well, you're not really an Eagles fan. I'm an Eagles fan that has a brain. But the one thing I would say is this. Just because your running game is atrocious, it doesn't mean the passing game isn't, or the passing defense isn't. So their defense isn't that bad on the passing game. It's just that they've been behind in many games because they've been run on and run on and run on.
Right?
So now the one thing I said it in a Facebook group today, and I don't think I'm a member of the group per se, but I'm actually let me see here. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, by the way, FanDuel had on Facebook today. What's the first thing you think of when you see this logo? And it was the Dallas Cowboys logo. I said a Bay review on Google. Let me see if I can find it here. Here it is. And I'm surprised nobody gave me a bunch of shit for this. Bro, Jalen Hurts is the only MFer player that has to apologize for throwing throw two TDs and a rushing TD, blah, 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 blah. I said, because a lot of people were complaining about the Eagles' offense as, it's fair. I said a real football fan knows that Carolina is better than that 3-10 record. The quarterback is improving, and these games happen.
Yeah.
So I just think, is the concern warranted? Yeah. But you know what could happen? Eagles play Pittsburgh this week, so you're probably not going to have as much of a running game. Let me pull up this.
But that defense is very good.
No. But Cincinnati did score a ton of points on Pittsburgh, even though they lost.
Right.
Let me go back to the team stats here.
Well, that was a divisional rival, though, right?
Yeah. And I know I should have said that team out west. I screwed up already.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Fuck it. So the team out west is right around the middle of the pack, 218 passing yards a game. They only give up 91 on the ground.
Jalen Hurts 300 yards this week.
Maybe. But, but Pittsburgh, they played Cleveland. That was a revenge game, so you knew that was going to happen. Yeah, they played Cincinnati 2 weeks ago, 44-38.
Yeah.
Burrow threw for 309 and 3 TDs. But Russell Wilson threw for 414. He's not throwing for 414 against this team.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
So, but you get the idea here. So I just think that, the concern is there. I have no problem with it. We know how you got to make him throw to the middle of the field because he doesn't really go there. And, I understand. It's just the concern is real. I have no problem with it, but I think just like anything else, it's just a matter of, I don't know if you want to tone it down or not.
I think we should.
I mean, I can understand the concern, though. Do we want to see the Eagles score 4 touchdowns in the first quarter? Yeah. Might get that in the Dallas game. Might get in the Giants game in the final week if that game means anything. You're not going to get it in the Pittsburgh game, I don't think. Unless you get a couple of quick turnovers. But, I mean, it is a concern.
But what's the main thing that we want to see more than anything?
Wins.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I think a lot of times, because, almost everybody plays fantasy football, they see, and I don't even know what Jalen had for me yesterday. Let me find it on my ESPN league.
Probably not a lot because He threw for over 100 yards and he scored a touchdown. So you might have got some points.
Yeah. Let me see here. Tell me I gotta log back the fuck in here.
Log back in.
I shouldn't have to log in. My team should come right up. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it looks like Brandon Aubrey gave me a win in the Action Lab League again. So I'm going to end up that league 10-4.
Cool.
Because Dicker the kicker only got 5 points last night. I end up winning the league where I'm not making the playoffs. And the one that had that amazing winning streak,
Yeah.
I got blown out again this week. But a lot of guys were on bye, so I left Roma Dunze on the bench, even though it wouldn't have helped me. Bucky Irving got hurt, But I did have that one team on SJ's league where I scored over 220 points.
That was nice.
But she has too many starters. $223.
I think you doubled my total.
I can tell you in a second. More than doubled.
Gee, thanks.
You're welcome. But I think that's the league high this year too, 223.
I could see that.
So I end up the regular season 8-6. I'll move up to at least third because that was a battle for third place.
So you're in the playoffs, right?
Yeah. Mike Gazicki isn't getting me enough points here. Anyways. So I'm not going to talk about the one thing that I was telling you about yesterday, so we're not talking about that. Anything else I need to talk about tonight off the top of your head?
No.
Okay. Yeah, because we're right at 2 hours right now. So I think it's time for us to watch the end of the game here and hope to God that there is an overtime for your case or for your sake. But I do have the day off tomorrow, but I'll probably be up a little bit tonight. Downloading the audio from this and get it ready for tomorrow. And maybe I can go for hold on. Man, I got Peyton Manning head,
Yeah, you do.
but it's not here. It's here.
Right?
But as I was about to say here, I'm going for the hat trick tomorrow.
Oh.
3 straight wins.
Let's hope so. Okay.
Because I gave you guys a 9-2 winner on Sunday. Once again, didn't know how to read the race because I was like, that horse isn't going to go for the lead. He went for the lead and boom, goodbye. Today, I told you guys it was going to be a sloppy track. I looked like John Bellaris, saying it was going to be the storm of the century. Well, not really, but I said it was going to be a sloppy track. It was fast. There was a little bit of moisture in there, but it was not enough to change the track condition. My horse won at 7-1. So I know I am making money for the month if I was betting what I was suggesting on those articles. But we will see if we can get, well, it'll be 4 days in a row, but it'll be 3 races in a row because I had a winner in the 4th race, and nothing in 7, 8, and 9, and then I hit Sunday and Monday.
Yep.
So technically, I don't have a hat trick yet.
Technically.
Hmm. But we're going to try. So 2-minute warning in the game, which means that we're gonna end tonight. So Mike, thank you once again,
You're welcome, sir.
and we'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow, and we have 7 more shows in the calendar year 2024. Well, me, that is. Mike has 1 show left. That's next Monday, but yeah, and we'll do it live once again. Mike will be distracting me in the chat probably.
Probably.
And we'll have some fun. So join me, twitch.tv/Joe Quills. And, and also if you're listening after the fact, subscribe, especially Apple Podcasts. Give me a 5-star review. Mike will pay you off and everything, and we'll go from there. So, do appreciate everybody watching on YouTube, on Twitch, on X. I also appreciate AJ texting me during the show. Even though that was it was a warranted question, he just didn't realize that. I guess he just didn't realize I was on the show tonight. But hey, he's swinging for the fences with the issue that he had going on. So, but we're all set, and we'll do it live tomorrow, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and let's get some more winners out there. I'll see you in the winner's circle, and I will also see you tomorrow. Good night, everybody.